It's a very special day today. We had the very important inflation data, the Michigan consumer sentiment poll that was expected at around, the previous was 77, the consensus was at 76, the forecast was 78, but the actual number is at 67.4. That's really good number for the market typically. But in these days, bad news are good news and good news are shocking and crash news. So what is United States Michigan consumer sentiment? That's an early indicator that interest rates will rise. That's very important indicator. So the University of Michigan consumer sentiment for the United States fell to 67 in this May, and in last month as we had the 77, meaning that this index or this indicator has the lowest in 6 months and missing market expectations of 76. Inflation expectations for the year ahead increased to 3.5, and this is the highest in 6 months now from 3.2 in April. Also, the 5-year inflation outlook hit 3.1. This is the highest in 6 months. And finally, both current conditions, the 68.8 versus 79 in April, and expectations of Michigan, 66 versus 76, declined, meaning consumers expressed worries that inflation, unemployment, and interest rates may all be moving in an unfavorable direction in the year ahead, meaning in year 2025. So the index of consumer expectations focuses on 3 areas. The first one is how consumers view prospects to their own financial situation, how they view prospects for the general economy over the near term, and last not least their view of prospects for the economy over the long term. And each monthly survey, because this is a survey and on the same time an indicator, contains approximately 50 core questions, each of which tracking a different aspect of consumer attitudes and expectations. So the samples for the surveys of consumers are statistically designed to be representative of all American households, excluding those in Alaska and Hawaii. And each month, a minimum of 500 interviews are conducted by telephone, but by the institutions that are working then for the Federal Reserve. It means now that the market wanted to have a higher number so they could argument that the economy is not heating, it's cooling, and that Fed, maybe you haven't been watching not only my video or videos, YouTube videos, what I hope you do, and possibly you have been reading other news or listening to other people, traders, or those who are reporting about financial markets or have YouTube channels or whatever. And nearly 90% of them, if you listen to them carefully, are not saying or reporting objective. I don't mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mean that they are talking bullshit or so. No way. They are, for example, telling you the news came today out and that means and the market crash, and then they're saying their own opinions. And that's okay, because that's their channel, that's their choice. Everything is okay. I'm very okay with that. What I mean now is, if you have been following me, especially during my last videos since I think a couple of weeks, especially about BTC, Bitcoin, and so on, or in this series, this is another one, another episode, I was also subjective, but not about the market. I was subjective about something that is around the markets. For example, the scammers, the Ponzi's. That's something different. Once we are trading the markets, we need to be very objective. So many of you got yesterday my message. In this message I wrote, if you have shorts, protect them or close them and go long, because the market is pumping. And today, about half an hour ago or 1 hour ago, before the data came out, so 2-3 hours ago even, and then after the data came out and the market's reaction, I have sent several mails to many of you. You can confirm it. And one of my fellow followers asked me, and I appreciate that question, that on May the 8th I said the market is down. Why now am I talking the market is wrong? Is this a strategy change? That's a very smart question, and I'm going now to answer that question. Yesterday, we had also some Fed talks, and based on that Fed talks, not about the news, but about what the market is doing, suddenly the signs changed. Why? For short term, right? Short term. In long term, of course, our strategy is valid, as I told you. And many of you, some are trading basis on day trading basis, some for longer time, and some, well, for shorter or midterm. It doesn't matter. It only matters to know and understand that as traders, we need to think, we need to act, and we need to be very flexible and very quickly. Why? Our job as traders is to make money. So on one side, we have our own opinions about the policy, about the markets, about the persons, whatever. On the other side, we must immediately act what the market is doing, and if the market punking up and exploding, so that means then in your trading strategy, so in mine too, we suddenly have a change of sides, right? So that was the reaction that I immediately took action because my goal, ultimate goal, is making money, profits. That's the reason that I'm a trader. And so you're doing this. We are not able to make money in the markets by discussing our opinions, saying, no, so you cannot go up because the economy is very bad and inflation too high. You must come down, and so that way we cannot make money, guys. So that means each time you take a trade, because you're taking the risk, and this risk is that first the market runs into your favorite direction. For instance, you are buying Bitcoin or NASDAQ or whatever, and you come into a profit zone, and then something happens that is, to the most of you, unpredictable. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, as I'm trading for many decades this market, so I know that, I have my own opinion, I see on the data, and of course there is a big package of experience in my hand, but at the end of the day, it only matters, or if at the end of the day I have made profits or losses. All the experiences I have, or the knowledge, or whatever, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, there is only a number, and this number must be black and not red. If there is red, it means loss. I don't like it. So that way we need to be flexible as traders, meaning if the market changes, and the market changes, we have seen during the last days, weeks, what yesterday happened and what today happened. And now we go to the market. So that's the opinion. Now we are coming back again to the long-term trade direction. So what we have been talking till Wednesday or Tuesday this week, meaning to old valid levels. Yesterday the market pumped, not because of the fundamental data. We had yesterday unemployment rates and it was very bad, but the market is acting each time we have bad news, the market is going up. Why? Because they expect rate cuts. And why are they expecting rate cuts? Because they have misunderstood Powell's speech. He never said that the Fed rates will be cut. I'm telling that now for the thousandth time or millionth time, I think. And for whatever reason, a lot of people are writing exactly the opposite of what Powell said in the newspapers, right? Therefore, I'm talking every time, I'm very often about it. For you to understand that you don't need to follow blindly to the market, make on one side your own opinion, knowing or filtering the bad or fake news of the reality is existing there. On the other side, and this is your, first of all, you as private person. On the other side, also you have filtered that real or correct news out of many fake news. You must stand as a flexible trader. Even you know the market is pumping, the market is going up, and the market has misunderstood Fed It doesn't matter. You have two choices, three choices. The choice number one is to stay out of the market. The choice number two is to go with the market. If the market is going up, you buy. And then you sell again if the market is falling down. Or you stay out. You wait until the market is going up. And then you sell if the market is coming down. The possibility number three could be a little bit risky. Why? Because the market can run hundreds or even 1,000 pips higher. And technically it is or it will be an uptrend. So why not to take advantage of that? So you may install also now a kind of filter in your brain to say or to tell you, okay, I know this is your opinion, or David Brasco is right. On the other side, because we are making money or we want to make money, we are taking the trend or that what our strategy is telling us, and then we reverse the trade if the market is down again. Why? Because it's going now in the direction of the trend that is compatible to the real events. And the real events are, number one, inflation is very, very high. And the Michigan index is confirming it now. Reality number two, there will be no rate cuts. The market has fallen today because all their hopes for rate cut has been pulverized today with this number. Of course, on the top picture of this video, if you have been watching it, there is a gentleman. His name is Mr. Kashkari. And he is my favorite member of the Fed. And what did I tell you? As a trader, never, ever be against the Fed. The Fed is your friend if you are a trader. If you have Fed as your enemy, you get pulverized. So, also the government. If you're trading, pay your taxes. Always. If you do these simple steps, I guarantee and I promise you, you will be a very successful trader. Why? Because you have no conflicting minds and thoughts in your brains. A lot of people are saying, the government doesn't want you to own something or to own your own money. That's all bullshit. If the government really wanted it, why are we trading? Why are so many billionaires and millionaires there? So those people tell you the government doesn't want you to have this, and they are manipulating the market. So if you remember in one of my last video, I made this video about Michael Saylor, and then it was an interview with someone who is trading gold and another guy whose name is Larkin. And that guy, Larkin, so he's a young YouTuber. He's, for example, every time he's saying, the government hates you, the government does this and this. That's all excuses, guys. If you are training, if you are boxing, making bodybuilding, fitness, whatever, what I hope, if you are going for gold, not the trading gold, for the gold medal, for not being number one, you need to know two things. The first thing is you versus you. That means you're new or you wishing you, right? attractive person who is athletic, who is fast, who is strong, against someone who is lazy or he wants to break these rules, to break your comfort zone. And number two is you need to understand there are parts in our lives that we can control ourselves 100%. For example, taking a trade and putting the stop losses. But there are also parts in the market or in life what we cannot control. Whatever we do, we cannot control them. And those people who are telling you, yeah, you cannot here win money, you must buy Bitcoin, yeah, they don't buy if Bitcoin going back, they hate you, it's talking just bullshit. These are only excuses. And I say, make no excuses. Never. If you take a decision, stand with your decision. We see here Bitcoin is running, and I told you, so technically seen, you see, so until this point, right, we have been bullish, and then the news came out, right, and so at the tops here, I have been contacting you. The Bitcoin will go down possibly if the market cannot break the highs. The news come down and it's going down and making low lows, low highs. Immediately you can sell or stay away or take profit, whatever. So I took the profits, and as you see, at 62,488, right? So I sold Bitcoin. That's the Leap Championship. That's not my real account. The real account, I am short since 73,700 in Bitcoin. But for this championship, so I took the profits of yesterday, and now you see here, then the market fell so fast, you see here, and then when the market falls down at this line, there are a lot of unexperienced traders, and those channels are trapping them. They tell, buy, if Bitcoin goes to 60,000, buy, and they buy. And what happens? Bitcoin goes a little bit higher and then breaks down, so they get stopped out. They buy again, for example, here. If you go to the Bitcoin chats, you can hear a lot of people say, hey, look, it's standing, blah, 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 blah. But maybe the Bitcoin is going from here to here, right? So from here to here, and they make some bunch of profit. But I am asking you, what is better? Is this better? Just every time to buy here, to sell here, to buy here, to sell here, then to buy here, the market runs against you, you make losses, to buy here, to sell here? Or is it better, you have a trading strategy, you sell it here and you let it run. You do it one time and you let it run. As you can see then in my first step, as I sold, I put my stop. As the market then ran very fast, what I did, I trailed my stop into profit zone. For the case the market comes fast back, I go plus minus zero out of market. And then we see now the market is going to the key levels I told you, 60,000 near. Breaking that, we can go to 53 to 55,000 and breaking it to 50K. Breaking that level, we can go much more deeper to 40K, and after breaking that to 34. So what's doing gold? We see in gold the same. Why is gold rising? Because dollar was falling. If dollar going down, gold up. And in this case, no interest rates cuts. And instead, every hope of interest rate cuts now pulverized, meaning the US dollar stands or remains very stronger. And if they're going now to raise the interest rates, what will happen next? The US dollar gets much more stronger. And gold down. So gold fighting a little bit at this moment. And we see, or even we are trading the trend. We have, and you see at this moment, for example, in gold, my stop is now, it takes me, then I'm losing 238, right? So I'm waiting until, because if I put it here, then the market gold hits my stop. I get out too early out of market, and then gold goes down, so I'm missing then this good price. So we have different markets. We have trends in all markets, but different trends. Trends can be different. We have volatile trends. We have fast trends. And in gold and S&P is the next one. So in gold, if we break below 2,300, then we can go to 2,250. If breaking that, we can go to about 1,900. How about S&P? The same. S&P volatile, coming down a little bit, but we see it clearly. The market making low highs, low lows, low highs, low lows. Then in this special, we see here, so the market had a bull trap, right? But the trade was still bullish. So the catalyst I took immediately that trade was, as they said, and this is the next bullshit I want to talk about. In all the news indicators for today, they were talking about Michigan index, and only two people of Fed were talking, Bowman and Logan. And I felt something is wrong here. So I told to my assistant, look, go search immediately who of Fed members will talk today too. Was looking, and he was searching, I think, for 3 hours. Say, sorry, I'm searching, and I didn't find anything. And in my last message I sent you, Sunday I got an email of a news agency that guy, Kashkari, is going to speak. Now my question is, why don't news agencies hide this name? Kashkari. Kashkari is the Fed member, and he is very honest. Last time, you remember in my last video I mentioned, and I showed it, he said, maybe we raise one time or no time or 0 time, and the market fell. And they knew if they say Kashkari is today, the market will start to sell or to continue the short selling of 2 days ago, right? That means, guys, we have not only the scams in crypto, also on those news agency, everything you are looking at what time the economic news are coming out. And that's a fucking bullshit. Why didn't they say? Because the market started to fall immediately as the market knew now at 4 p.m. Kashkari starts to speak. The market fell before Kashkari even said just one word. because the market knows if Kashkari talks, the stocks, crypto, everything will fall down. And of course, Kashkari said, Bowman, for example, was talking, Logan, I'm sorry. So she said, for example, it's too early to think about cutting rates. There are uncertainties if policy is sufficiently restrictive. And it's not a soft landing yet. And exactly what I did tell you in my last videos, we won't have interest rate cuts. We won't have soft landing. We will have hard landing. Then she said, I still see good reasons why inflation will hit 2%. And I told you also, if they raise the interest rates, not one time, I'm expecting in minimum 3 times from now on, that will send the market to the ground, then the economy will really cool up, right? Because the unemployment is rising, we will have recession and so on. And then the typical nature of the market will react to get normalized. And then, that's very interesting what Logan said. She said, the neutral interest rate level, may have risen. Again, the neutral interest rate level may have risen. What does it tell you? What I said, predicted 2 weeks ago. They're gonna raise the interest rates. And now they talk openly, what I appreciate of Mrs. Logan or Miss Logan. And now Fed's Bowman, she is another Fed member, some minutes ago said, I don't see rate cuts as warranted this year. Now, not only Kashkari, also more Fed members are talking it openly. She said, I don't see rate cuts as warranted this year. And she said also, if we saw unexpected shocks, that would be a case for a rate cut. For example, like COVID or whatever. So she said also, I want to see a number of months. I want to see a number of months of better inflation data. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 8 months, maybe 100 months, who knows, right? But the market, a lot of people, she said, interest rate, I read interest rate cut, buy. No, and that's the wrong one, right? So, as trader, it's also very important to read between the lines. So I practice since many years. I do exactly the opposite what the newspaper says. I do exactly the opposite what politicians think or say. For example, a lot of crypto Korean, and this is what Larkin is saying in his videos. Yeah, so Biden and SEC are against you, against people, against Bitcoin. No, the SEC is doing good his job. Why? Because SEC is going for scammers, for money launderers, for Ponzi's, for people who are betraying you, lying, telling lies to you, and stealing your money with lies. I am on the side of SEC, definitely, 100%. And I am on the side of Fed, Federal Reserve, definitely. And the Bitcoin holders say, yes, I give you for Trump, and Trump is supporting the crypto guys. Guys, don't be so fool. You are fooling yourself if you think that. Do you really think that Donald Trump is going then to support the cryptos or Bitcoin? Really? If you are doing it, then you must be very, 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 I don't know how to call you. Donald Trump has developed many years. He has his plans to go much more harder for crypto guys. If you know Donald Trump, you exactly know he is going for special those people. Why? Because a lot of competitors and rivals of Donald Trump are all those crypto billionaires, like Michael Saylor, who have been funding a lot of money against Donald Trump, so he lost his last presidency. And if Trump is coming, and I think he may get the next US president, believe me, he will take very hard revenge on them. He will go very hard for them. So in that case, Donald Trump is trapping the cryptorians. So guys, in oil, we are also down. The oil has been down first, and then since 2 days ago started to rise because of the BRICS and OPEC news. But now as the US dollar is very stronger, and these shocks of the market is not good for the crude oil or oil market. And as you can see, then I started to sell immediately at 78.90 oil, and now oil is going back in direction of possibly 76. If it's breaking it down, it can go to 72, if breaking to 68, and if breaking it, it can go back very deep to $46. And this is the high of the COVID time. If oil breaks 74, then oil can go to $2. But these are the scenarios. So then on the other side, we see what happened to dollar and Japanese yen, holding at around 155. So we see the market went up, and then somewhere here, then Bank of Japan immediately started to intervene. The market came down, and the market is holding. So I believe, so in my analysis, that we can go to 190. It's very strong. The US dollar is very, very strong. Then US dollar came back because we had an up of the gold. So now taking profit, and the next is that the US dollar is getting stronger against the Swiss franc or frankie, and it will go to over 0.950. And the same US dollar, Canadian dollar. So a rise at this moment. You see the market is consolidating here at around 138.70, and we will come back possibly first of all to 138.37 before the market then drives higher. So That's the market, guy. And we see now, in the meantime, we are at Bitcoin 61,089. And gold holding now. So let's see in NASDAQ. NASDAQ moving a little faster than the other of S&P. Why? Because NASDAQ is more tech, and the reason is a pullback of Tesla. Tesla will go down later again, but the reason is that, so now for the third week in a row, I think Tesla is very, very short. So not only about that, also this morning, NASDAQ at the beginning was hesitating to get up, but it started to pump. And then, as the market knew Kashkari will talk today too, they get afraid. So, and now we can say the real number one Dark Vader of the market is not anymore Jerome Powell, the president of the Fed. This is definitely Mr. Kashkari, my favorite one, and I appreciate his honesty. I wish him all the best. A lot of people say, no, we weren't going up. Also, a lot of people are making trading video analysis. Why? Because many of them have been buying stocks. So that way I cannot, for example, if I try to make an analysis, I try to stay objective. Even I have, for example, my prejudiced thoughts and opinions. But as I know, a lot of people, different people are watching these videos. Maybe some of them are sellers or buyers. So I try in trading analysis being objective. I try as I can, right? Sometimes I'm helpless. So, of course, I want that the market goes down. But if the market is going up, so as trader, I must go with the market. That's all, right? But I'm gonna also tell you the reasons, if you have been following my videos, why the market can go up, or if yes, so that bulls can also take advantage of these videos, right? Because I'm not dictating who may sell the markets, right? So, or who may buy it. Then the next news is coming right at this moment is that if you remember, I shown you the dollar Japanese yen. So you see here, dollar started to move on, coming back. The reason is now that not only the intervention of the Bank of Japan, but also Vanguard, and Vanguard is a hedge fund that is, managing a lot of funds and ETFs, joins PIMCO in seeing more Bank of Japan rate hikes that market. So, meaning now the hedge funds are visiting the presidents of the bankers, national banks, and ask them, please don't do that or do this or whatever. So you see how manipulative really the business is. So in this case, Alice Kutney, his name, is the one of speakers of Vanguard Group. And he said that the market is underestimating just how hawkish the Bank of Japan will need to be this year to boost the yen. So hawkish means if they are going, for example, to not to raise the cuts. So the asset managers, head of international rates of Vanguard, that's a department of Vanguard hedge funds, sees the central bank's benchmark reaching now, so about, let's say, 0.5 to 0.7% by year end. So this will be, for example, a quarter point hike possible in Japan. In Japan, the interest rates are near of zero, okay? And that for the last 30 years. Meaning now, if they hike the interest rates from 0 to 0.7, that will boost up the Japanese yen. The difference is we have in the United States a minimum 5.5% now interest rate. And I think by the end of 2025 or beginning of 2026, we will have interest rates of over 6% or more, even to 7%. So I estimate we will have something about 7 to 7.5% or points. At the moment, the US interest rates are 5.5, and my estimation is 7.5. Okay, but we will see. This will be in 2 years, something in 2 years. If I live and you too, then we will meet in 2 years again, and you say, okay, you were right. And if I die, then you say, hey, that guy, that was not bad, that David Brasco, who was living 2 years ago, and he said, we come here, okay? So guys, but for today now, we see now the market going down. We see now Bitcoin fighting very hard again the limit. So do not trade against the trend. And the trend is, you see, from here now going deeper and deeper, okay? So then see here, so, yeah, make here, that's the formation. And no, guys, look here, the market made a new low, and then a new higher, local higher low. This is a broadening pattern because the 60 area is important, and Bitcoin knows it. If they break, they lose it, it can go to 50, right? So what can we see here in Solana? The same broadening pattern. So if they lose this area, then Solana can go easily to 125 to 130. And Ethereum the same, okay? So I hope if you have been following my videos and advices, some ways you could have been making good money or profits, or it has been helping you. I told some of you, because they told me they have been taking profits, the trading strategies are not working well. I asked some, okay, you can send me then on my Instagram your trading strategy. I will check it, I will back test it, because then I will be able to suggest some improvements if possible, okay? So I don't promise. Maybe then I can say, all right, so maybe you can change that setting or add this one, or instead doing this, then you will have better results. So you have my Instagram page, and send me an email, you know where you can find me. So, and then let's see what happens then next week. Next week we will have a very turbulent roller coaster data week, like nearly every other week. Someone told me, today is Friday. the market can be unpredictable. And I was thinking, yes, today is Friday, the market can be unpredictable like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's the business. All right. Have a good time. Subscribe this channel, share this channel, like this channel if you like, and put comments below the videos. That's good also for the algorithm. That way you can help me a little bit to grow this channel. All right. Have a good time, guys. I see you then in my next video.